Dragon Ball Super Episode 62 is now officially in the history books, and today, guys, we're going to go ahead and dive into the official prediction video going into Dragon Ball Super Episode 63. Now, keep in mind, guys, this video will contain a lot of spoilers, so in case you guys don't want to find out what happened during Dragon Ball Super Episode 62, then simply go back, watch the episode, and come back so we can talk more Dragon Ball Super down in the comment section below. And what an episode this was. Finally, Trunks had displayed his brand new transformation, in which case a lot of us have been talking about for like the last week as to how powerful Trunks truly was. And in this episode, it clearly displayed his feat of strength, because obviously enough he was able to contend against Black and Zamasu, only for a short time though, however. But the one thing they did not cover in this episode, however, was the actual form that Trunks was bearing during this entire fight scene, because we never really understood at what positions Trunks stood in, whether or not he was a Super Saiyan Blue, whether or not he was a legendary Super Saiyan God. We don't know. We don't know what this form is. It could be a false Super Saiyan God. We don't know what it is. However, he was actually able to hold his own against Black and Zamasu for the time being. And in next week's episode, of course, we get to see an all-out battle between Zamasu, Goku Black, Vegeta, and Trunks. Now, the thing about next week's episode, it's going to focus more around Vegeta, and the reason why it's primarily centered around Vegeta, it's because it's involving his son. And when you see your son is in a very dire situation, you have no other choice but to step in and help your son out during this time of crisis. So we see Vegeta step in there, and we see Vegeta unleashing his Galley Gun. We see Trunks fight off, Black with his sword. So, we see a little bit of hope going on here from our heroes, but I don't think necessarily this is going to happen in the form of where our heroes are going to win, because I do think at the end of the day, despite what Vegeta does, despite what Trunks does, they're still going to lose. And the reason why they're going to lose is because we have full understanding that during Dragon Ball Super Episode 64 and 65, Zamasu and Black are going to come together in the form of a fusion. So that's pretty crazy stuff there, and you have to imagine how strong they would actually be once they combine their powers. But next week, I'm predicting that Goku's going to go on ahead and just pretty much execute the Mafuba technique well enough to the point where he feels confident enough to seal away Zamasu. Keep in mind, in Dragon Ball Super Episode 62, Piccolo and Roshi said if you're not careful, they can actually break the seal, so you're going to have to go on ahead and seal them away carefully and quickly without them having to break the seal. So I'm predicting that next week Trunks is going to relatively be more durable than Vegeta, because thus far he's fighting both of them off by himself in his future timeline. So when Vegeta arrives, I do think that after Black ensues and unleashes the critical hit that puts him down, I do think that Vegeta, after seeing his son go down again, is going to allow him to be very angry to the point where he's going to just burst in rage and attack them, because we see that thus far that nobody, not Goku, not Vegeta, not Trunks, were able to do much damage or harm to Zamasu and Black. But at this point, I think that Vegeta, even going back into the past and wondering to himself, how can we defeat these people? How can we defeat them? I mean, it seems nearly impossible, but there has to be a way. I think that next week, Vegeta is just going to be careless. He's going to unleash all of his power, and he's really not going to think twice. He's the only thing he's going to be focusing on is killing both Black and Zamasu, because at this point, we saw how Black had made an embarrassment of Vegeta by stabbing him. We saw how Goku got stabbed. He got beaten to the ground. We saw how Trunks got beaten down into the ground. So at this point, Vegeta's just going to be like, you know what? Screw this. I'm going to go all out. But even with that being said, my prediction is this. Goku is going to go back with Vegeta, and Vegeta is going to fight alongside Trunks. And my prediction is they're going to go down yet again. We understand that, the title is called Don't Defile the Saiyan Cells. The intense battle arises with Vegeta. So that's actually very interesting, because, Vegeta's, intense battle ensues. This is Vegeta's moment to go all out, because we see that despite how strong Black is, despite how strong Zamasu is, he's still going to try. And next week's episode preview for Dragon Ball Super Episode 63 goes as follows. Hey, it's Goku. Sorry to keep you waiting. Zamasu, Black, this time I will beat the two of you for sure. Black says, this era will become your graves. Goku says, Vegeta, I'm leaving Black to you. Show off the result of your training. Next time on Dragon Ball Super, don't defile Saiyan cells. The curtain rises on Vegeta's intense battle. Don't miss it. So Vegeta actually went into the hyperbolic time chamber during Dragon Ball Super Episode 62. So when he emerges, one can only make the assumption that he's going to be stronger. So even if Vegeta becomes stronger, yes, I do think similar to Trunks, he's going to hold his own. He's going to be very durable. And I think that they're going to be able to push Black and Zamasu back, but they're still going to fail. Why? Because of the fusion that's coming. Once that gets introduced here, I think all hope is lost until, something arises to where Goku attempts to try the Mafuba technique and fails, or something else comes about. But I do think that at this point in the game, having to fight Black one-on-one is simply impossible with Zamasu being there, because we do know that Zamasu tends to get involved even when not needed, as we saw when he kicked Trunks in the stomach, and as we saw when they fought Goku and Vegeta and stuff. Zamasu tends to step in there and sort of be the distraction of the group. I mean, focusing more on him and then having Black come in there and execute things. So I do think Dragon Ball Super Episode 63 is definitely going to set up for the fusion that's going to come. So I do think that maybe, perhaps maybe, towards the very end, Black and Zamasu may be on the ropes here as they get pushed back a little bit by Trunks, Goku, and Vegeta yet again. And given the circumstance that Vegeta is once again emerging from the Hyperbolic Time Chamber, he might be a little stronger. He might be significantly stronger. We don't really know that. But either way, he's going to come in, and one of two things are going to happen. Either A, everyone's going to get beat down yet again, and our heroes are going to be forced to, you know, take necessary precaution, or B, they might actually have Black and Zamasu against the ropes here, which forces them to fuse, because again, we don't really know as to why Black and Zamasu come together, but either way, they are going to come together, and when they do, they're going to create the Supreme God, who is an entity with great power. So with that being said, is Goku Mafuba's, you know, technique going to work? Is it going to fail? I think that in fact it might actually fail, given the fact that maybe if Goku keeps them under locks and he goes on ahead to, you know, seal them away, maybe Zamasu and Black, or if not their fusion, breaks the seal, thus allowing the Mafuba technique to fail. So I think that Dragon Ball Super Episode 63 is going to be more about fighting and less talking, similar to Dragon Ball Super Episode 57. And a lot of you guys seem to think that, you know, Episode 57 was like one of the best episodes because it was just chock full with fighting, people getting thrown through buildings and stuff. It was really, really awesome, and it was really intense if you just point down and look at the nitgrits of the fights. So I think that, you know, despite Trunks having to use his sword, it's only going to help him so much. And, you know, again, they never really explain to us what the heck this transformation is, and I really hate that about Dragon Ball Super, because they never really go in depth with what the actual form is, because a lot of us were wondering, holy shit, alright, now that he has this form, I mean, what more can he do? Can he actually be able to take them down? And yeah, even though Goku said in the preview to Episode 62 that, you know, like just Black wasn't able to match up against Trunks, we saw in this episode, yeah, Trunks was able to kind of inflict some damage to Black, but Black welcomes that. Black grows through that. So having to see Black adapt and, you know, use Zamasu to get in there and jump him and beat him up and stuff like that, and even push him back, was scary enough. So I think next week, as Goku pointed out, Vegeta is going to fight Black, and again, my prediction is Black's going to win. I don't think that Black's going to be, you know, inferior to Vegeta, despite him coming out of the time chamber again. And with that being said, we have Zamasu versus Trunks. Now, Zamasu is not strong. We can all agree on this. I mean, yeah, he's immortal, but that doesn't really mean that he's strong. It doesn't mean that he's on par with Goku, Vegeta, Trunks. Just because he has immortality does not mean that he's on the same level. So I think that, you know, despite what Trunks does, Trunks might have the upper hand on Zamasu, but keep in mind, Zamasu can't die. So what's the point of unleashing all of these attacks and all of these blasts and keeping Zamasu down, when in retrospect, it's not going to do anything to him. It's not going to damage him. It's not going to hurt him. So I think that Zamasu is going to have the upper hand on Trunks as Trunks begins to wear himself out. Now again, the translations prior to these episodes indicated that Black is going to unleash a very critical blow to Trunks, which is going to eliminate him from the equation. So no, I don't think he dies, but I'm actually quite intrigued as to what Black is able to do to penetrate the powers of Trunks in order to damage him so much to the point where he's out of the equation. So one can only assume it might be the Kamehameha wave, it might be some sort of, you know, sword-like stab to the chest or something, we don't know, but I do think that Black is going to have the upper hand despite what anybody says. That's my prediction, but what I do really want to find out is why Zamasu and Black fuse. I mean, yeah, it makes sense to have yourself, you know, come together with your opposite being, and you can just create like one life form, but there has to be, you know, a significant reason as to why. Perhaps maybe, you know, Black and Zamasu are losing, and they figure out, well, alright, since you guys came back a little stronger and a little smarter than before, allow us to show you guys what we've been talking about, what we've came up with, and then boom, we have fusion. And with Beerus talking to Gowasu and talking to him about, you know, I can easily, and I quote, Beerus said, I can defeat future Zamasu, but I can't break the laws and the taboo of being a god and traveling into the future. And Gowasu replied by saying, I'll take the blame because it's my fault that I recruited that idiot Zamasu to become a Kaioshin in the first place. So what this tells me is if Beerus by some chance does go into the future and he does end up fighting Black and Zamasu or whatnot, I think that, you know, when the Omni King or whoever questions Beerus about this comes down to it, I think that Gowasu is going to take the blame for that. And I think that Gowasu is going to realize that we need Beerus here. We need the God of Destruction to step in and handle things. So I think that if by some chance Beerus does go into the future, which I do think may happen, it's gonna be a wild ride, because Beerus has incredible power and we haven't seen him fight thus far. So imagine if we have Beerus, the God of Destruction, fight the Supreme Fusion of Zamasu and Black. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below about next week's episode. Again, my prediction is that Black and Zamasu yet again, they're gonna have the upper hand. I mean, how could they not, right? I mean, just go back and go watch the previous episodes to where Black was handling business no problem, so he was kicking their ass easily. So I think that the same thing might occur, but Goku may attempt the Mafuba now, but I do think that maybe he might attempt it later. But even if he were to attempt it now, I do think that Zamasu and Black would break the seal. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below, guys. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What are your overall thoughts on the episode? What are your overall thoughts going into next week's episode? And with the upcoming spoilers to come, what are your overall thoughts as to how they can actually defeat this duo, especially when they come together? Let me know your thoughts, guys. Once again, thank you all for watching. If you guys are fans, don't forget to subscribe for more awesome daily content. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to finger that like button. Let me know what you guys think down below. Tune in for more, and I'll be seeing you all in the next video. Take it easy, guys. Peace.